Right, hello and welcome to this day on YV Television, Channel 33, on the radio on 11.7 FM, on our Facebook page, YV News. Drop your comment, and we would definitely find time for you down. Well, inside the issue of the show, yesterday, President Biodon chaired enforced session or debate yesterday at the United Nations Security Council inside New York. Also, the President pleaded on behalf of Africa for gets permanent seat into the Security Council. We can discuss that and also look at briefly the President's statement and the Parliament. And yesterday we see a four-story house collapse na Congo Town. Usai, as of now, we are the Kana TV na 4 people that actually don't pull so far. 3 survive. And the one with them pull at 2 a.m. this morning been die. And rescue team still shot for more people as you know, the process still continue with Freetown's the council, the national disaster management, and the community people. Then still they look out for more of the victims. Them the entire 4-story building be collapsed. Now Congo Town, adjacent stores. The playing field, na Congo Town. But this afternoon, for look at all of that, I got to meet Solomon Sundu, the executive director and founder of Bianchi Foundation. Solomon, welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Remy. Good afternoon, viewers and listeners.
All right. So first off, let's start the conversation by taking reports done for us by our colleague Salifu Chino Kamara. We keenly pay attention to the president in project, more especially in the UN Security Council.
With the theme addressing historical injustice and enhancing Africa's effective representation in the UN Security Council, the presiding authority of the debate, President Dr. Julius Maada Bio, maintains that the UN is the cornerstone of international cooperation, founded on the principles of equality, justice, and the collective pursuit of peace. He emphasized that the current structure of the Security Council reflects an era that fails to recognize Africa's growing importance and contributions. President Bio reminded the Assembly that Africa, home to 1.3 billion people and 53 countries, almost 30% of UN membership, has made vital contributions to peacekeeping and conflict resolution, yet remains grossly underrepresented in this key global organ.
Africa remains the unquestionable victim. With the absence of structural change, the Security Council's performance and legitimacy remains questionable. As we reflect on the debate's theme and profound implications, it is essential to recognize how the historical injustice has significantly hindered Africa's ability to contribute effectively to global governance. The legacy of colonialism, economic exploitation, and political marginalization has left deep scars on the continent, affecting its development, stability, and influence in international affairs. Africa wants the veto abolished. However, if UN member states wish to retain the veto, it must extend it to all new permanent members as a matter of justice.
Sierra Leone's president emphasized that the historical injustice against Africa contradicts the UN's principles of justice, equity, and democratic representation. Addressing the 15 members of the UN Security Council, including its 5 permanent and 10 non-permanent representatives, President Bio passionately highlighted the compelling historical context of the injustice done to Africa over the last 80 years.
From the arbitrary partition of Africa during and after the colonial rule, African nations were excluded from key international decisions that affected their future. The lack of sovereignty and political representation during those periods has had lasting effect on Africa's ability to shape global policies and institutions. The legacy of slavery intersects with other forms of historical injustice, including colonialism, imperialism, and exploitation. Africa has long been marginalized in global decision-making processes, and its voice are often drowned out. This results in a lack of meaningful representation on issues that directly affect the continent, such as conflict prevention, peacekeeping operations, conflict resolution, and sustainable development.
President Bio called for a Security Council that truly represents the world and its diversities, noting that the UN has the opportunity to forge a more just and inclusive world that honors the dignity and aspirations of all nations. The U.S. Permanent Representative to the United Nations, Ambassador Linda Thomas-Greenfield, acknowledges the importance of Africa's adequate representation in the Council.
So let's stop admiring the problem here. We need to move to solutions. Today, 15 of us sit around this table, and it is my hope that the number grows to include permanent seats for Africa, Latin America, and others, and that in so doing, we're better equipped to live up to the mandate, our mandate, to prevent the scourge of war and advance peace and security for future generations.
With Africa's issues making up 50% of the Council's meetings and 70% of its resolutions, President Bio emphasized the long-standing common African position at the signature event, demanding 2 permanent seats and 2 additional non-permanent seats, totaling 5, with the African Union choosing the African permanent representatives. President Bio reminded the Council that justice delayed is justice denied, concluding that Africa can no longer wait. Salifu Charuna Kamara, AYV News.
Many thanks to Salifu Charuna Kamara for putting that report together. An highlight of the event yesterday was how President Bio chaired a debate on issues around peace and national security. Solomon, from the President's statement, it shows there are a lot of seriousness with regards to Africa take center stage, more especially around strong conversation and strong decision on security matters. But generally, what's your opinion with regards to Four-Storey President being the President of the United Nations Security Council for a period of 1 month? It's an history for Sierra Leone.
Yes, thank you, Remy. It's a very long historical history we don't make before. If you look back in the 70s, where, the then President, Sheikh Stephen take over, the 6 months permanent seat. From that sending a 53 year now, right? And for make we won't turn back, we see him back, for make Salon assume that, sits there. Now a very good history for Sierra Leone. And why don't it be? Now because for me, in my opinion, Sierra Leone don't take the path of democracy, and when we don't choose democracy, this not the thing we for enjoy, right? It means say the human rights record for be strengthened. It means say the inequality we all talk about for be addressed. So make we go back to that same seat under this administration. Now historical moments where we all for happy about that Sierra Leone Day today, they talk about Africa. Imagine this now the 78th sitting of UN since then able for formal. And we can't take them back. And with presidents where they represent Africa, right? They tell the, we international partners, the UN, where then at the beckon of inequality, because why them build up the UN? Now for make them fight against injustices, make them fight against inequality, make them fight against anything where go bring war or conflict in any nation. The example, now they tell we begin we own issue now when the rebel war. We see the largest UN troop we can Sierra Leone, right? For can rescue. It means say Sierra Leone integrate na the world based on waiting we don't they achieve, waiting they we don't they do over the years. So if President Bio now they agitate, say Africa forgets 2 non-permanent seats, then another 2 in the permanent seats, then 1 also in the non-security. It means say a lot. Then 5 seats they advocate for so. And Lukusa is say now Africa therefore go talk the type or which area of seats they need. Because Africa is a continent. When we talk say by projection from now on to 3035 or 2050, Africa will go up to 2 billion plus. So now a continent where the world for begin sit down now and say, oh, this now is called. And we are the permanent, the permanent sitter for America. What he say? He say, yes, let me go to the solution. And these are the solution. How we should be able to tackle African issue. Because Africa get issue for me, past Bokusai way we know, right? So this is not the time for the UN begin to understand, say, Africa don't grow educationally, right? We don't, they go small. When you talk about, technology, Africa self don't they, emerge, right? And when you talk about the global world, how you will talk about the global village, then you segment certain people in, then they on the other side, then other people and they for the other side. Now inequality than the 9 President B.O.B. they tell we about. Now injustice than the, because if you talk say we all are one, then we all for eat now one pot. We all for able Sudan, we take decision, for example, for Gaza, we take decision for what's in Israel they do, we take decision for what's in other countries they do, we then they into conflict. So this integral and the robust strengths where President Bio go with, it has been acclaimed, right? And I believe say this time round, not to talk, but now for a talk and happen. That can we the go put on.
The issue around peace and national security is very key, and more especially inclusion and issues around development, can only take a center stage when peace stay across the globe, and more especially Africa seems for be a setback. We don't see several coups, across francophone countries in Africa, and that is seems for the affect generally the operations and also development for northern countries. And will the president take the center stage and appealing for all of that to happen and more development for go to Africa with no expectation at the end of this entire Security Council meeting?
Well, from what I see, when the permanent sitter, the relator will say, this, let me go to the solution. It means say, they don't hear Africa in cry. It means say, Africa don't turn up robustly. Because if you look, Africa, we'll talk about the Africa Union, we talk about other setting, Africa don't they grow in the area of, let's talk about the region, ECOWAS. We see how ECOWAS, they get frequent meetings on regional issue. We talk about the Africa Union itself. We see how themselves don't they emerge. They don't they look say, but how long would they no more pan then kind of thing they draw we self. Let we now sit down, let we put yourself together. That is why even when they go into the elections, not so just a rotational, yes, rotational, seats. But when rotating, you have to go through elections, right? For make them see the stance and which stand you turn up pan for make you even opt for go another 60. Just go for grab no more because one kind country with all the might, with all the strength. Because we get other countries like Nigeria, we get countries like Ghana, we get other countries in where they above Sierra Leone in another, in other words, in the area of infrastructural development. Yeah, we get in South Africa, but then look alone, imagine what's within there. But based on what we able to do, and the way we president able to articulate, now make I want for use this opportunity for tell the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, plenty thank you. Because that we don't see over the years. Ministries, departments, and agencies made them do their work. So if they don't do this one, I want to tell you all thank you. The one way they now the security and the UN, they represent Sierra Leone. The one way they work now with foreign ministry. For that effort, for let them vote for Sierra Leone, 188 votes. It's not easy for persuade. It means that Salon they articulate well. Salon able for sit down and talk about other countries in peace. And with present President where they mark you in background, now one of the person we fights for make democracy restore, they come back, they say it will try for do in best for CC democracy or a democratic credential stand. So that will for maintain as he talks say, I think you say no country, no will get them, stance if you're not in peace. That's not the crux. I tell you in my first presentation, say, any country, before they give that seat, they look at your stance, your human rights record, and look at how you push other people in business, you look at how you improve women in business, and Sierra Leone, we don't see now, say, thing on the work, yeah? You talk about Sierra Leone now, they talk about 30%. Women in representation, women in various areas in. Laws they don't pass now with parliament where they protect women rights. You talk about property, owing property. Women now they own property, not to like trade where you go born picking, so you don't girl picking, you don't get rights on the property. All the laws and they don't pass now this parliament. And make us say again, the parliamentarians. We tell them thank you for all the good laws that we didn't pass. This not to APC, this not to SLPP business, you understand? This is not national business because anything we don't all do for make Salon in name, right? We do now the higher platter. We want for appreciate them. So we now for embrace peace. We for not say now, we not for the take gun, we not for the take cutlass, we not for the take waiting for destroy. The foundation we don't build for which now that kind of we president the rich now for 53 good years. It means that we maintain certain things there. We're not good, we're not there to for say Salon or things are flexible or things are good like any other nation where we go through difficulties at hard time, nine with it, but at least we able to surmount, we able to bear, we able to endure for make we reach yourself this city.
The president, hopefully next debates probably will be around gender, and I understand. And the president only push for issues around gender, and even the 30% quota, and we only see shows also into governance, and we see members of parliament, huge number of parliamentarians are women. It shows clearly their commitments towards the 30% quota and gender empowerment, and the president gave a chair a debate on that. How things the president for push more so that globally people could recognize issues around gender?
Well, so, for me, the 30% where you mentioned, the president in next debate therefore be on gender. Imagine for the whole world. Today, inside the UN, we talk about the November 18, right? Where they don't declare. This is not the whole UN, not the whole world. Not for Sierra Leone no more. Would I make that one day? Now Sierra Leone, and would I do that one day? Now the first lady of the Republic of Sierra Leone. Now in project that way push, it starts out with hands off our girls, right? We say today we talk about rape. It happen not to say don't done, but you and me know, yeah? We day now the globe, we see, right? Today the rape it don't reduce. Then we see the GW acts of being waiting carrying at this parliament. We see it happen. But let me take this first. The 18th of November, right? The whole world they recognize her now for being, gender sensitive day, this hands off our girl. It don't day now. Any kind way you talk Salon don't do well. Because for that you push for let UN accept a day for be recognized. Like we get Labor Day, yeah, we get other days, and you understand it? Then this day now, then we don't day now the charter, whether First Lady Fatima Bio now, Madam Fatima Bio did at the seat, whether President Bio did it now, that legacy, where some of we don't preach for, that every leader na legacy for left, now that kind of thing. And if they go now for go chair the gender seats, right? I think they get for dilate and discuss on women's issue, because President Bio, mark you, one of a mantra, now for let's say women themselves be decision makers, not only with the man, because we don't find out say over the years, women can able to do well in any side we then puts them in position of trust, they can prove themselves, right? So in this day, when President Bio they go sit down and talk about women, then I must say salute women for be proud. And I want for use this opportunity for tell Sierra Leoneans and say the woman then for be really come up and say let me wear whites for the president and the first lady, because today in Sierra Leone the woman they set now. Look at the educational system, right? We get science for women when are free if you go to university. It tell you say, believe you me, when President Bio goes to the under, we will hear back. Waiting it will talk for make women in the world, not only for Sierra Leone, but women in the world for make them feel themselves. And I see the first lady go to Angola. All the first ladies them, they want to make sure say every African setting, let women them feel potential. And I tell you now say, around the world, women they don't begin see themselves. They don't begin say Sierra Leone. You know, some man they know Salon, and now we self don't begin get the name. Now we now that they take, you know, for be anything too. Now we didn't set as example for good things, not a bad thing, like when people want for a smear the country name. So let we all embrace the peace. As I say, let women really come and clap, because the rights what women gets now, believe you me, pass if you don't want for make a more, but if you accept yourself, you patient. You learn book, you learn skill, woman and day and the topmost. And I believe one day, inside Sierra Leone, woman get for be president. You know why? Because the way they see the woman they push now, and this way woman and go, they say them begin to snap at the political limelight. And we need them, because we don't see, say, we male counterparts and what's in the pan, na ala, some kosoko, bagbati, and bring trouble kind of control, no like that kind of thing in there.
All right. As we take a round up from the president, in United Nations Security Council meeting, what do you expect more the president for push? I know the other meetings where I think after the president chaired the debate around peace and national security, we see the Minister of Foreign Affairs also chaired a meeting. And I know there are other meetings where go across with other ministers, other MDs, other authorities also we attend issues around Sierra Leone agenda and the president in Big Five generally, therefore portray that as well now the UN Security Council meeting. But generally what you expect for happen while the presidents they still keep chair meetings as well for Sierra Leone? Well,
for me, what I expect now, like way it talks say Africa don't they into this slumber for quite too long, right? And then 5 seats away they push for. Me, I want to let them be a priority, because if we get a success, let not just be sitting on a saloon, right? But let we want to reach say, let the world accept for let Africa get non-permanent seats too, and permanent seats too. You understand? So for make we did it and begin make decision now, Russia no go talk again, Africa no talk. America no go talk, Africa no talk. The China no go talk, Africa no go talk, right? So we need them. Yeah, if that they be, believe you me, now a kudos to we and all Africans. So I believe say President Bio will push for that kind of thing. As we hear from, you know, the representative from America, he said, let's go to the solutions. And when somebody talk about solution, we are no longer talking about the problems again. The problems are there. They have been, you know, spelled out. They have had them. What they need now, the solution to it. That's what we need, right? So if President Bio will go and sit and chair other, you know, meetings, all he needs to do, even though pushing for the 5 big change for Sierra Leone, but his main mantra is for Africa to have the non-permanent seats and permanent seats. Let that be done. And for make it go cascade in Leone, 5 big chain now. That's a good thing because now you get to see, international partners in, now you get to see other foreign nations, now you get to see investors, now you get to see people away get interest. Because the sooner they make you that kind person for student of that city, we talk now, say, President Bill, for example, now they able control can now say that the ICC, Salon or other countries get into so thing where they break, violate human rights record. That's why people have to be very careful. Sierra Leone is not that funny country again, right? Our president now sitting there, he honed the mantra for this month. Let's say, for example, if people are to, calling for ICC to come, who is to approve that? It's President Bio, because it's there now, right? And what some of us are saying, let our politicians be positive in their mind, right? Our country is not that bad. For someone to say we are mourning for, democracy and the like. Our democratic credentials, all we need to do is for our leaders to work. We need good water. That's fact. We need good roads. That's fact. We need electricity. That's fact. We need pipe-borne waters in every facet of our city. That's fact. We need more proactive educational system. The radical inclusion for BC, every parent, because Kado starts this thing, the educational system, they see them picking all the way in the streets, we not to holiday time, then all for go to school. That not the thing and the way for me begin press now. Yeah? So for me, feeding Sierra Leone, yeah, that's fact. We need investors to come, but they cannot come in an area who say sonko or threats or ala they, and let people be aware. And as much as we have chosen the path of democracy, it goes with patience, perseverance, respect for the rule of law, right? And if political parties want to assume power, you, the political party, also need to be democratized. That is fact. There's a way talk to the dog, talk to the bone. Our president is now there, as democratically elected president, chairing the seats of non-permanent seats, talking to, his counterpart, telling them that this is what Africa need. But my own take, let political parties start now. Let them come. I want let President Bio push down, they say, let we international partner then come, now Africa, not only for Sierra Leone, let them come begin teach them with political party then now, what's not democracy? What are the norms? What do you need to do if you feel disenfranchised? Perhaps they don't know. If they know, but they don't want to take it into action or practice, let them come and teach. The Carter Center, all those who are in democratic, campaigning, let them come now and teach political parties. Because if political party, you are not sober, then you are not democratized. How do you want to, rule people on democracy? Right? So these are the issues we need to set straight and let President Bio do that in the African, in the UN. Because, when you talk about peace, you talk about inequality. Yeah? You talk about injustices. Right? Because where those things are not there, then there will be no peace. For me, before you talk about peace, let's talk about justice, like way President Bio emphasized. That's inequality, let's say no to it. Injustices, let's say no to it. And when we say no to all of this, there will be peace. Yeah? So peace, they start with justice. Give me my rights, what I need, right? Give that, the right to Remy, what Remy needs. There will be peace. That is it. So for me, the two clauses there, inequality, fighting injustices, let that continue to be pushed in the UN, and also let it be cascaded in Africa. Let them know, say, we're not going no more for go fight for them permanent system, but Africa self, the leader they now need for work. We're not go now for coerce on our citizens. We're not go for go corrupt on our people. We're not go for go take where them put on they will not work for our people. They want for cancel down. No. When they talk about Africa, that cruelty for them. Let African themselves know that. And this coup, thank God, we see before the president they go now the UN, they go now Burkina Faso. And we don't see them, they don't go now Guinea, closer to winner. He don't go talk to them leaders there. Before, then 3 countries are Guinea, Mali, they all want for this associate themselves from the African Union. But he's there now telling them, no, that's not the way. I've been where you are now, and the only way you can able to, mention your country in the international platform, be democratic. So for me, him being there, taking the lead, he will be able to talk to his counterparts around Africa to say, let's do our own work. In the sense, if you said you would do education assistance, if you said you will come and develop your country, do the needful. Let the people feel the development. That's what we need in Africa.
All right. Away from the president in work as presidency in the United Nations Security Council, it appears as if it's a norm, within the last couple of months, During July, we see around regions, almost Four-Storey house collapse, and and other places also don't they see places then they collapse. And yesterday was quite shocking for most Helenians. We don't raise so many concerns with regards to security and the way people seem for the build houses them. And Congo Town yesterday, one place was like Four-Storey houses, collapsed, and then according to information that about 6 people will be walking at the place be inside the place outside the house collapse. And yesterday the house collapsed at around 1:30 noon time, and they're able to pull 3 people within around till 7 yesterday. We been saved. And so at around 2 a.m. this morning, a post from the National Disaster Management Agency, NDMA, indicates that at around 2 a.m. they also pulled 1 person, but the person died. So it still remain about 2 of them. They inside the building, outside the place collapsed. We'll still bring calm updates with regards to that, but I will take highlight of yesterday it happened, and with the head of the National Disaster Management being kept for say.
Here is 6, some are saying 6, some are saying 7, but we have retrieved 3 people alive. So when the machine starts work, then we'll know if we get more people alive, and if there will be, I cannot tell you, I'm not an engineer. I cannot tell you this is the reason or that is the reason. But the building collapsed for now. That's the only thing I can say for now. I cannot tell you. It is the engineers that will come, and then they will do some studies and investigations, and they will be able to give you the real cause why the building collapsed. We are informed that the building has collapsed at Congo Town. So we rushed to the scene. We were able to rescue 2 people at that stage. They were taken to the hospital and given some treatment. Now we have just rescued another person alive. That was why we stopped the work of the machine until that person was rescued, because the rescuers had touched him. Now we have recovered, so the machine is going to start work now. It's coming up very rapidly. In 3 months, he has been able to fix about 3 or 4 stories, which in the engineering sense, I don't think that is normal. So they have to fix the flatbed because the excavator cannot move on its own. It's on track. It has track. It does not have wheels. Its wheels are track. And if you allow the track to move along the road, then you will destroy the road. So it has to be moved on flatbed. But because we are trying to rescue somebody that the rescuers had seen, so we stopped the excavator from working. Because we don't want the excavator to start working and then boulders fall on that person that was alive. There might be accusation.
That was the Director General for the National Disaster Management speaking there to reporter Sheikh Mohammed Sila. I'll be also at the scene and witnessed the entire situation. But Solomon, as we time for round up, because we get for join the Ministry of Information and Civic Education press briefing at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the minister today talk on internet connection. It's very key, as sometimes back on Saturday, I even want to blame my phone.
Yes.
For the rest of the day,
yes,
we don't get internet.
Exactly.
You don't get internet, so you have to sell Orange Line. Sorry, you don't get internet today for the rest of the day. And I even want to blame my phone, since my phone don't get a problem on the same base. But later I noticed that there is a problem on the internet. So they really need to work on that. So it's a very good conversation we need for monitor as well. But the kind of way we houses them, they collapse. It's it's quite worrisome. And more especially yesterday, the top, now our building, a Wilkinson Road, self collapsed. And this morning host, the vice president of the Sierra Leone engineers, you know, when Batan Cole, engineer Batan Cole, he said clearly there's a problem somewhere where you want to blame the engineer, you want to blame the people who get the host, you want to blame the Ministry of Lands also gets a role for playing to this. But generally, with my opinion, with them kind of tell they happen.
Well, I want to start Osai, the president of the Engineer Association, right? Mm-hmm. One thing first way I think so we need for do na Sierra Leone. Now for make we begin the introduce or the department day, if you go for a big college, you get way, you go do soil test. Long time, blessed memory to Peter Z. Camara now, the SLBC. You know, one thing way I come, one thing the way, before that motome happen, yeah, me not the first person, yeah, way I begin talk about the hills, why people they excavate hill, right? Sierra Leone the country by right, if USA will get good structural planning, then hills here we see so, they're able for do them. Then they able for cut the hill, plan the hill, who say you know for excavate, how you for build, who's kind of house, how many story for day, you get for do what we call the soil test, the archaeology, if that's how we put them, then you know exactly what's in that ground they will able to take. If a value for gets up and garret, if 3 or 4 story, if you not do for that, the type of housing where you put there, they can tell you. But yeah, you know, so we all want for belows. Then kind of no day. People, if they, but people don't implement them. Because that adopt man, like me and you go and build fast house, we don't go through all them processes then they. Let somebody can test with soil. Let we know which type of building, which material, yeah, for put and that kind of thing. And mark you, the Freetown, you know, area, the sand what they use is salty in the first place. The iron rods and what they use, look at the nature of them now. So not even the of standard. If you go, they now say you want build up and garret, or you want put foundation. You will go put, for example, some man they measure say let them put 30 blocks per one bag. It's not correct. If you look at the soil system, you know the type of structure we put now. Yeah, not to tell you no more house don't begin collapse. In fact, that's not fair now. We're waiting at the open garrets now, right? Because if foundation not strong, if foundation only properly, we get for the expecting kind here. And as September the council, we are in August, we don't see the rains that we don't come. Moist don't catch Boku host they now one the way they on top. And people always excavate he'll not fine. He now one of the 10 way is fearful for bill, right? Even one the way they within the slum. Now only governments or big private companies can come and do something way good. But go build, like then Bay Area, not so poor people are supposed for building. Because the foundation say for you for build and meets that water in demand, who sign up for block. Sometimes they make water for count under you go back. You understand? You have to build it. But what do they do in Sierra Leone? Because we not get the kind of money, because we not get the kind of finance, we not go for the interest in this. So the engineers themselves need for do their own work. Then the Ministry of Lands themselves and housing, they need for the who say they give land to people and tell them the type of structure where they will put there. Then they all very integral in our country. Or else, like we then say, Sierra Leone now one of the most the third prone country to disaster. Now we don't begin to see so. A very disastrous. I want to extend my condolences to all one that we don't lost their life doing this disaster. You understand? Okay. Will happen. Right. But going further, let we authorities that we concerned, the one that we want for billows, the one that we give land, make them tell people the type of structure we don't go put and how they for doing.
All right, Solomon, thank you very much. We need for joining the Ministry of Information and Civic Education on a press briefing. One was a sorry because nobody saw all the messages. But quickly, we don't wait for George Stone. They say the main problem is all of the above. Firstly, building with poor planning, lack of building materials, and allowing anyone without any proper certificates to improve the profession, which is our problem. Thank you very much, Roland Brest, for Justin and the rest of the guys. Sorry because we can't take all in our message because of time. And I will join the Ministry of Information and Civic Education on a press briefing where they can get every Tuesday at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.